And we're back. This is Ram Film Reviews.
What is up, people?
Holy crap. Awesome.
It is a late night or early morning, however you want to look at it.
Good morning, those waking up.
Yep.
Those going to sleep.
I hope you guys are prepared for a fun little trip through a movie that we've heard much about, but have never witnessed. And how'd you come about it, first of all?
Well, let me bring all the pieces together.
Yeah.
Actually, from Instagram, a good Instagram page by the name of Sales of the Dead.
Nice.
Credit.
Gotta like that name. Sales of the Dead.
Yeah. Great page. I've bought from him plenty of times. We'll tag it in the video. Give him credit for it.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
And of course, as you can already tell from the decor and obviously the case that's in front, and if you did read the subject line or the title head for this video, we are talking about a masterpiece called Frankenhooker.
By the great Frankenhooker.
You got money?
Want a date? So yeah. First of all, excuse the tiredness and like the many pauses and moments I'm gonna fucking stare at the wall. But yeah, we're like about 2 hours late from our usual live shows.
Yeah, we took a couple of pauses getting to this one, and but it was quite the experience. This movie, it was absolutely quite the experience. You've always heard, I mean, at least in the community for cult films, right? You hear about this movie often, and it gets, you hear a lot of people talk about it, and basically a lot of the crowds that we hang around with when it comes to like the thrifting and stuff like that, it's one of those movies that always gets mentioned around in all those communities, and even more so in the horror community. Technically, it's a comedy horror, right? This is a comedy horror. But it is absolutely incredibly fun.
Very lightning,
Yeah.
Especially in the VHS community.
Yeah.
This was one of the, to me at least, from what I've seen, one of the most sought out VHSs.
Yeah.
It's hard to come by. It's pretty up there. I mean, depending on your budget.
Yeah.
So this is 1990. Frank Henenlotter. He's done great films like Basket Case. Was it 1, 2, and 3, or 1 and 2? You got Brain Damage. So all classic films. So this one just took me by surprise. I felt it was 85 minutes, but I felt like there was way more they could have added. It felt short, but overall great film. You got the great James, was it? Lawrence?
Yeah, he did Basket Case 1 through 3, so he did all of them. Brain Damage, like you said, obviously Frankenhooker. He did a short called Slash of the Knife in 1972. That was his first credit as a director. And he's done a few things. The last thing he did was in 2018, which is a movie or a documentary called Boiled Angels, The Trial of Mike Diana. And then he did a couple of shorts also called Son of Psycho and Lurid Women. But a lot of his stuff was always based in that same realm, in that same genre of just like exploitation. Like this is considered into the neighborhood of black exploitation.
Yeah, black comedy,
Yeah, so it falls into that line. Satirical. It was just fun, man. It was a lot of fun. Like, you can't go into a movie like this expecting it to be, the high-end quality. This was purposely done the way it was done. And even though they had a bigger budget than I would have ever assumed.
Yeah, it was that
right?
1.5 million, which is was the highest at the time for Frank. And it only grossed 205,000 at the moment.
Box office.
In box
right.
office.
Yeah. I mean, that's not counting whatever it's made.
The DVD releases.
The DVD releases, and then Arrow did one too, right?
2012, I believe.
Yeah, so there's been releases after that. and I'm sure there's royalties that go towards, you know, the proprietors, the people who own the rights of Frankenhooker, and especially people like Frank, the director, who put this together and approached the makeup artist Gabe.
Yeah.
What was his name? Gabe Rodriguez, was it? Was it Gabe Rodriguez?
Let's call him Gabe. But
Let's just say Gabe.
Just,
I'm pretty sure it was Rodriguez, but Gabe, who was the makeup artist, and he did the stuff for him in Basket Case as well. And so they've had history, and we saw this like clip where Gabe was talking about getting involved into this movie, and he described when Frank approached him, it was like, yeah, I want to do like this one scene where we like explode 7 hookers. And he was like, cool, awesome, yeah, let's do it. It's gonna be gore and all this stuff. And he was like, no gore, no bone, no nothing like that. Okay, so do you want to do something that's like, you know, like gelatin or something that looks gooey or something like that, and or just like, you know, I don't know, spark something. He was like, no, nothing like that either. We're gonna try and make these things look as realistic as possible, and then just like make them look like mannequins and blow them up.
Yep.
And that's literally what they did. But like one of the things I pointed out to Mac is like in one of these transitions during that moment, the transitions between seeing the real life to the mannequin version, right, which is purposely made to look like a mannequin version. The transition was seamless. It was almost on point every single time. I think there was one maybe that was kind of a little bit of a hiccup.
Yeah.
But the rest of them just, it looked, because everything they aimed to do was they casted the actresses that they used in those pieces literally in the positions where they were going to blow them up. So everything was exact. And it was really, really, really well done.
Yeah, like the mannequin cast was from head to toe basically.
Yeah.
In the exact position they're gonna explode.
Yeah.
But yeah, something also I looked up. They had 2 versions: the mannequin, which is like the fake looking one.
Yeah.
And then the realistic flexible mannequins. They were gonna use that for this scene, but somebody stole it on set, and they had no choice but to use these.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
But I think it worked out.
No,
I think it worked out best to the vision that Frank had for the idea.
As a comedy, yeah, because he didn't want this to be a horror movie.
Yeah.
No. And also too, the what's that called? The MPAA was like on like edge to like tell him not to.
Yeah. So they're being very cautious with all that. They wanted to put the movie out there. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was kind of also a little probably tough to sell a movie called Frankenhooker.
Speaking about he actually went with the title Franken 1990.
Yeah.
For you could go to companies and like get props and all this like extra stuff.
Yeah.
And then later he revealed it to be Frankenhooker. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got to be tough
Claro, yeah.
to try. And you were talking about in a time period where that lifestyle was very rampant in the streets, especially. This is based in like New York, and in that and during that era, it was a rampant situation where literally that was. It was not hidden. It was very visible.
Yeah, the drugs,
and it wasn't stopped. Exactly, yeah. And we'll get to the topic of the drugs and all that stuff because that's going to be fun to talk about. But we have to talk a little bit about the cast. We had James Lawrence, who played Jeffrey, the protagonist doctor of the movie, whose name was Jeffrey Franken.
Franken, yeah.
Right? Which was a fun little twist there. And then we had Patty Mullen, who was the protagonist female.
The girlfriend, fiance of
Jeffrey
Franken.
And her name was Elizabeth Shelley, which was and I had pointed out to Mac at one point before we even started the movie, but like 2 minutes into the movie or something like that. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna do any kind of homage or something like that to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Like maybe they'll put like the book somewhere or something like hint. You know, because it is technically a Frankenstein movie, no matter how you look at it. So I was wondering if there's going to be any kind of homage. And we noticed after in the credits that you see that her name was Elizabeth Shelley, giving that homage to Mary Shelley. But yeah, so the cast, specifically them two, right? Because they're the main ones we deal with.
Yeah, correct.
I think the only other person we deal with a little bit is Zorro.
Yeah, the Zorro, that guy.
Which was I don't know if he was a bodybuilder or what he was, but Joseph Gonzalez is the person who played that character.
The raged out pimp.
Yeah, which was pretty much showed. I think you pointed out at one point that he was pretty much emotionless through most of the things, but he had one scene that was fantastic, which was just one part where it's one explosion at the door when he's trying to break into it, because he is the pimp of a bunch of these hookers, where the 7 that blow up, right? And he's trying to knock on the door, and he's like saying like, open up the door, and he hears an explosion, and he just goes, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was. He said that 2 times, I think, in the film, and they were hilarious.
Yeah,
but like Randall said, so 7 hookers blew up. So from the unrated to the rated version, the only difference is that in the rated version it's 6 hookers, in the unrated it's 7. So that's all Frank had to do to get the R-rated version.
Just eliminate one blown up hooker.
But yeah, we start off like I said with Jeffrey Franken.
Yeah.
Just in his dining room, playing with a
brain with an eye, with a single eye, like a cycloptic brain.
Mm-hmm. You know, and his mother-in-law and his fiance are just normal. Like, you know, it's like an everyday thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with this guy. Well, maybe they say he's a little off, but you know, they're still casually. You know,
he's strange. They call him, because he's not even really a doctor. He's an engineer, and he works for the electric company. Yeah, New Jersey. Of course. There had to be some tie to knowing about, you know, how electricity runs and works. So they used him working for the New Jersey Electric Company.
And it was whose birthday? The fiance's birthday or his father's birthday?
Her fiance, his fiance's father's birthday.
His father-in-law, okay.
Yeah, so it would have been his father-in-law, or soon-to-be father-in-law. Because, there was a fun little line in this one that was hilarious. But, yeah, we got introduced to him there. They're in the party. And he's working on this brain while the party's happening, which is obviously, like, one of the strangest things. Like, you have a bunch of people outdoors, and you're working with a brain and an eye.
Yeah, just poking at it, hitting it, just trying.
And in the middle of the kitchen, too, which is even more spectacular. But, the line that we were talking about... So the mom of the fiance of Patty comes up to her, or not Patty. Yeah, Patty was her name in the thing. No, Elizabeth was her name.
Elizabeth.
Patty's the real name. So Elizabeth, and she's taking pretzels away from her, telling her like, "Oh, maybe you should stop on these," insinuating, you know, that she's overweight. We didn't notice. I don't know what they were like suggesting what overweight was in that time period, but she apparently was wearing a fat suit during this time, and honestly, like I couldn't tell.
Yeah, apparently they said that you couldn't tell until she reveals the birthday present where she walks away. You see her full frame. Yeah, I couldn't tell either way.
I know, honestly, like, we didn't tell at all, but So they make the comment on that, and then a friend of Elizabeth comes up and says, "Oh, what was that all about?" She's like, "Oh, you know, same thing. You know, saying Jeffrey's weird and that I'm fat. You know, same old thing." And he was like, "But I've tried all these things. I've tried all these diets. I tried this. I even had Jeffrey staple my stomach." She's like, "Oh, is he some kind of doctor?" "No." Kind of, but no." "Oh, is he going to medical school?" "No, he's been kicked out of 3 of them." And you let him staple your stomach. He's like, "Well, we're gonna get married, so you know, why not?"
Why not?
So immediately, I paused and I look at Mac and I'm like, "So, the logic here is we are gonna get married eventually, so why not?
Why not operate?
You know, that seems like a very, very risky decision because, I mean, what happens if after the surgery, he's like, I don't like the scar I created there. You know what? I think it's over. I don't like that scar. Divorce. You know? So yeah, it was weird. It was a weird line, but hilarious at the same time. But yeah, so what ends up happening, I don't think it becomes a spoiler at this point, you know? she's presenting what's supposed to be the gift, right? What's supposed to be the gift for the father-in-law, or the soon-to-be father-in-law, her dad. And it's a lawnmower. And a lawnmower that Jeffrey, the engineer, created a remote for, so it can, work remotely. And Elizabeth very, very geniusly, like, using all brain capacity decides to, I'll show you guys how it works, It turns on the power like this.
Yeah, enthusiastic how it
yeah.
works.
You see that? And then you turn on the blades like this. Yeah. And then Jeffrey's like, yeah, but don't stand in front of it, honey. Yeah, don't stand in front of it.
And you see the
and then you press this one to go, but don't stand in front of it, honey.
And it moves, and he's like, watch out.
Yeah.
She turns around, and she just freezes.
Yeah.
You get a scene of just blood.
Just blood splattering on a gnome.
On a gnome.
Yeah. Classic. That's the cliche, right? Like, it has to hit a garden gnome. If it doesn't hit a garden gnome, it doesn't happen. Yeah.
Merle says this movie sounds sus.
No, it's actually pretty good.
It's not, man.
It's not sus at all. It's absolutely not sus at all.
There's a lot of tits in it. So.
Yes, large amounts of breast.
Yeah.
So we get to this point, and that goes right into the title head.
Mm-hmm.
Everything to kind of give you an idea.
Head.
Nice. And give you an idea
Mm-hmm.
that he's gonna start working on something, and this was very well done.
Oh yeah, the character James Franken. Jeffrey Franken. I'm sorry.
Jeffrey Franken, who kind of gave us a Herbert West vibe, with a
Dahmerish, maybe just the look of it. Maybe.
Well, Dahmerish was like when he was hunting for the hookers on the street, pretty much.
With the glasses.
Glasses. Yeah. It was It gave a very Dahmer vibe just by appearance. More than anything, just the appearance. But, Merle's like, breasts? Ew.
Well, you got Zorro. He's buff. He shows.
I mean,
muscles,
you have Zorro, and actually,
go,
Zorro apparently has a following in the gay community from that era, too. Yeah, I can't find much more on the guy himself, but yeah. Hey, there's one website called Big Gay Horror Fan, and it has a post dedicated completely to Joseph Gonzalez, the actor that did the film Frankenhooker, and this was his second and last film that he worked on. He also worked on Brain Damage as one of them. He might have done like a small part in Death Wish 3. But his main movies was Brain Damage and Frankenhooker.
That sure reminds me of South Park's Big Gay Al. Big Gay Al.
But so we get Jeffrey trying to figure out what he's gonna do. He has this whole anatomy plan, showing where he's gonna put every circuit, everything to make the body work.
Yeah, he's talking to himself
and make the electricity flow. It was very like every detail that he was covering, you can hear the whispers of him talking to himself, just saying, okay, no, I'm going to do the relay here. I got to get enough voltage here. Nobody's going to tell me that's not enough voltage. And he's going through every detail, and
the camera pans out.
Yeah.
And then where, the regular, blueprint of the head is supposed to be, it's his ex-fiance's autopsy photo.
Yeah.
And he has it everywhere in the wall.
Yeah.
Framed,
Yeah.
And this guy's just cuckoo out of his mind. I love the way he portrayed just a maniac. The pale skin, the fucking eye bags. Just,
Yeah.
He was just losing it, hearing things, seeing things that are not supposed to be there. Also being aware of it. Talking to his mother.
Yeah, he was explaining he feels like he's becoming amoral, that he's becoming, unsociable.
More antisocial.
Yeah.
Remember his mother's solution?
Do you want some food?
A sandwich.
Do you want, a sandwich. Do you want a sandwich? But yeah, so we notice at this point, we get presented with the idea of what he does to continue the path that he's going, because he's trying to create this, and he knows that it's going to have to take a lot of things to get it done, because as he explains later on, that what was left of his soon-to-be wife's body was pretty much nothing. So he had to...
He had a head, part of a foot, a toe, a hand.
Yeah, so nothing. Just basically the head was the main thing. And he knew he was going to have to do something to be able to obtain female body parts. And he put two and two together, figured out, okay, I know where I can go. And then started saying, like, oh, fuck, but can I do this kind of shit? Like, he started thinking things. And a news report came on at the same time talking about hookers and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's called Motormouth.
Yeah, and then he pictured his wife on one of the hookers' faces and all that stuff, so he kind of freaked out. All that. And then he used the technique called trepanation, right? Which is an ancient version of lobotomies, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like drilling in through the skull and, pretty much cutting out areas of the brain that take either certain emotions out or feelings or whatever, any kind of sensory that goes on in certain areas of the brain. And it's something that's existed, like I think we looked up, the first case of anything like that ever being done was like in 6000 BC, which probably wasn't done with a drill, but more with a nail, but still same concept. Yeah, they chiseled to the...
Still.
But it was done heavy in the 19th century. That was always one of those techniques where they felt they can help people who were having mental issues, was literally by just trepanation, by just... Let's go into that brain.
Barbara.
Which that ends up becoming like what became the medical field of craniotomy, where now what they do is literally open a section in the skull to be able to work on the brain itself. And now I'm getting too medical. Continuing.
That's totally fine. We have viewers that would like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this case, Jeffrey just used that to either calm himself down or get like ideas,
I mean, obviously, I think the method that was being used in the movie wouldn't work in real life.
Of course not.
Because he was literally using a straight drill.
Buy one at Home Depot.
Like, just get a straight Black & Decker and just, like, drill into the brain type of thing. And kind of just guessing. I was like, no, that's not the right spot. Hold on. I got to go a little bit more down under. And then, pretty much I'm sure some people would probably bleed the fuck out.
Of course.
If they're not properly under the right care.
It kind of resembles, Jeffrey Dahmer trying to make zombies with, drilling holes, putting acid in their fucking skull. Okay.
Yeah.
Then, he proceeds to have dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Not by himself, but by himself.
Nope, not at all by himself.
With the body parts of his ex-fiancée.
Yeah. While talking to it.
He's in a suit, drinking wine, giving it wine, showing it, the possibilities of, what could she be.
And ends it off with a poem. He wrote her a poem. And he read her the poem.
And where was he? He's like, by Jeffrey Franken, and he just...
Oh, yeah. He did
just as his tie.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That classic that. That's right. But yeah, no, it was a fun little introduction to getting to know the mental state in which Jeffrey was in, right? And it didn't take long for us to get to the point of creation, right? Where he gets to do his Dr. Frankenstein thing and accomplishes getting the parts and accomplishes putting it all together, even though it was... not the way he expected or planned it, but it happened, and he was able to piece together what he wanted for his Elizabeth. And the whole scene where he does the creation of life moment, right, was done very fucking well, man.
Yeah.
Like everything they did with how they rose the body up, and with obviously we had the early or the late 80s, early 90s electrical fields that look, that's noticeably digitally added after the fact, all that kind of shit. But it was the obvious ones, the ones that don't look fucking real. They don't look real. It doesn't look real. But enough to where you get the idea of what the fuck's supposed to be happening. But everything else they did with prop-wise and design-wise for all the machinery and equipment looked fantastic. The fact that he had a turbine in his fucking garage, like just a big fucking turbine.
So the funny thing is the garage was super small, but inside it was like basically 4 times the actual size of the garage. Yeah. And like Randall was saying, just the way he was working up to put the Elizabeth together, which was funny as hell. Yeah. Choosing the right body part. Yeah. Observing the body part. Yeah. Removing any excess. Yeah. Things that he didn't like of it.
Yeah, he got very picky with certain parts. And obviously he wanted to make everything match, so you need to make that happen. But either way, he gets the part, lifts her up, electricity. We all know what it is. No, it's alive though. They didn't do that. That might be. I don't know if that's copyrighted though. Like I don't know if that's like an unusable kind of thing to say something like that. But either way, they get through that. They get to the moment. She comes to life, and when she comes to life, she goes right into hooker mode. Even though, like when you think about it, that's kind of odd because was it the body parts sending those signals? Yeah. Because it was her head, so that means it was her brain. Her brain wasn't a hooker, so I guess that means like the rest of the body parts.
Yeah, the body parts just I guess
they had some kind of memory.
Yeah, reliving the last moments, like you said earlier.
Like that was weird to me. That was the only part that was kind of weird to me because when I started thinking about it, I was like, I don't think arms remember thoughts.
Muscle memory, maybe, but that's
there's muscle memory, but I don't think the arm is gonna really remember details of the hooker life. But whatever, it made for a good joke, right? Like the intention here wasn't to be realistic; it was just fucking parody, funny. And they hit right off the back because she went right into hooker mode and she asked, "You got money?" Yeah. And when Jeffrey responds, "Money? No. What do you mean money? No." And he knocks him out, and then Frankenhooker is on the loose.
Yeah, proceeds to do her walk, which was fantastic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We have to give so much credit to Patty Mullen because she said she got some direction from Frank. Explaining, what to do with the face and all that kind of stuff. She's like, yeah, just make your face look like like you're losing it, like you're going, like you're just going crazy, like you're going sporadic. So she did the mouth thing where she started doing that thing, and the way she moved her face, the way she did her facial features, the way she did her walk, everything was right on point with making that character just look fucking great. Like she knocked it out the park entirely. With how she handled that. And, the makeup on it was fantastic. The stitching they did around the neck. That's the other thing. Like we pointed out, the prosthetic work. And everything they did with limbs and anything that had to do with that kind of work was incredibly well done.
Yeah, it fooled me because I thought during the movie, like, that was her skin. Like, they just painted over it, but in the special features... Yeah. Gabe was just applying, extra layers of prosthetics and stuff. So
casting there and stuff like that. Good.
What I loved about it is just how she's not there talking to people. She's just looking around. Yeah. Robotically.
Aimlessly,
exactly. And the underneath that the clothing she was wearing. Yeah. Was just purple. I was gonna say purple and perfect at the same time. So she is wearing purple hair.
Yeah, she has everything clothing. Purple. And then there's one scene that was fantastic, which was when she manages to pick up a guy as Frankenhooker, right? And the guy's like super excited because it was like the girl is like insisting, "I want to do this."
Picture less attractive Danny DeVito.
Pretty much.
Literally.
Yeah, it literally looked. It looked like they mixed Newman from Seinfeld and Danny DeVito. Like they combined those two guys into one guy, and that's what we got. But yeah, he manages to get into the hotel room with Elizabeth, And yeah, that's where we get to see for the first time Patty Mullen. Elizabeth, right? Patty Mullen's the actress, but yeah, she goes ahead and releases the coverage, the top that she has, and she has the breast, but with like purple on it too, on the nipples, which was
purple areolas.
Everything had purple on it for some reason. Everything had purple on it, but yeah. So that's what we saw, and that was.
And Frank Henenlotter, the director.
Yeah.
He actually filmed more scenes, the women entirely naked with purple pubes and her vagina, the private area. But he wanted to make him less real, so he removed the scenes and just left the breasts.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Yeah, he wanted to keep a lot of that unrealistic parody to it. So everything he was aiming for was that. So. Going back a little, I did want to point this out because one of the things that they were talking about or pointed out was because they were talking about the hooker epidemic and how at one point in New York they were trying to legalize prostitution.
True.
Because they said it would help these women that live that life or whatever and help bring down the drug issues because most of the women were either getting paid in drugs and then they got addicted to the drugs and blah, 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 blah. Mainly around this time in that era was the biggest drug was crack. And Jeffrey, while he's making plans with Zorro, the pimp of the neighborhood, also asks for some crack. Not for himself, but so he can take it, experiment on it, and create something what he called super crack.
Super crack.
And then he tested the super crack on a hamster.
Yeah, like guinea pig or hamster.
Again, was that a guinea? Yeah, it was big, so it was guinea pig. So a guinea pig. Actually, that would make more sense, right? You use a guinea pig as a guinea pig. Right. And Mac was like, "Oh, what do you think's gonna happen? Do you think it's just like gonna die, or do you think it's gonna explode?" I'm like, "No, they're not gonna make it explode. Like, why would they make it explode? And he's not gonna be able to use it because then and then what happens? Fucking explodes.
It just explodes into 4 pieces.
It fucking explodes into 4 pieces.
And
it caught both of us off tail because we both went, "Oh shit, he actually did that."
It was just a thought, like, "Hey, it'll explode," but I didn't actually expect that. And then assuming like if a human explodes, like how are you gonna use the parts? But we see it how.
I mean, they made it happen. I mean, again, it's supposed to be unrealistic. It's classic line. What is it?
It's a movie.
There you go.
I literally forgot when I looked at you. I looked at you, it was just empty, like.
Oh God, fantastic!
It's a movie.
It's a movie. So. Yeah, I mean, they did fun things with it. They had a lot of fun with it, and that's what was noticeable. We did talk a little bit about the budget being $1.5 million. One of the notes that you found out was that most of that budget was used on the pyrotechnics more than anything. So they used very little for anything else, to the point that he had no money to perform the lab sequence where they do the creation of life sequence.
Yeah, his quote literally was, "How the fuck am I gonna do the lab scenes?"
Yeah.
So he hired.
Well, he asked for a favor, right?
Yeah, he asked for a favor. So some friends or somebody that knew about pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
Slightly. They set it up and they're like, "All right, you're good to go. Maybe it's safe."
We'll see what happens.
Hey,
I mean, it was a one-shot deal, So it was like once you blow them up, you can't go back. So they did a really good job with it. Every explosion was on point. Jeffrey's scene and picking up the body parts was fantastic too, because
little lines were
if those were all written, whoever wrote every single line was fucking perfect. If he improv'd anything of that, fucking genius, because it was like literally
about the improv, but
like grabbing things and be like, "Oh, this one's well done," and whatever, and it was like, "Oh, he grabbed the one that had the knife on it." It was like, what was the line?
Stitching or something.
Yeah, this one. He said some lines, but every line hit, every joke hit, Nothing missed the mark. So it was really well done to that part.
And he just kept apologizing to the body parts, like, "Oh, I'll put you back together.
Yeah.
Let me just take care of Elizabeth, and
I'll take care of you after." But, not considering that he's using, various parts from various different women. So some of them are either not getting their ass cheeks back, or not getting their leg back, or not getting their arms back, or their hands, or whatever. Like, he used parts from all these different women to create the one woman. Including when he found the perfect ass that he wanted to use. He put a check mark on the ass cheek.
of course,
It's fantastically well filmed.
I mean, how else are you gonna choose your woman? Love.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to give away everything in the movie. It's a fun ending. The twist to it is really fun. Yeah. What happens at the end? It was really well done. The movie felt like it moved so quickly to us that it felt it was shorter than what we actually saw. The running time, I think, ends up being like an hour 20, right?
Yeah, 85 minutes, credits.
Yeah, with the credits and all stuff. But it's an hour 20 basically from film, or an hour 23, something like that. But either way, it felt like it was far less than that. And I don't know if that's because we enjoyed it so much that we didn't realize time had passed, or what. Because it has to be that. Because what else would it be? Like, we weren't bored through any of it. Everything was enjoyable. We kept on laughing about things. It was on point. Every character had us reacting to something. Even the bad acting by Zorro. Especially towards the end, when he comes trying to get his vengeance, and he's like, "You stole my women."
Fucking flexing everything.
Oh yeah, trying to flex all the time. It's like,
"You want drugs?
You're coming with me." For some reason, I had to hold it like that.
Yeah.
But it was just, all in all, just a fun movie, and just what you expect out of a movie called Frankenhooker, made in the late 80s and released in 1990.
Remember, it took 12 years to actually be released.
It was a process of 12 years, yeah. It was a process of 12 years to get it done. They started filming in 89, but it took 12 years entirely to get everything to the way Frank wanted it, the director and the person in charge of this movie. But they got it done. But entirely, like I swear, like, the movie for me was just fun. I immediately became a fan of Patty Mullen because she was
so beautiful.
Aside from being beautiful, like, she just pulled it off so well, man. And even more so, I think, when we saw the interview with her after, because it's one of the special features, is her talking about her experience on the movie and everything like that. And she was talking about how she would want there to be a second part, and she would be up to doing it and wanted to do it. This was done in 2006, so it's been a while, and we haven't gotten it. So obviously it's not going to happen at this point, but it was fucking great to see that she was that into it, and she was loving the movie that much. And even though the significance of what the movie kind of lays behind when it comes to, like, prostitution and drugs and all that shit, is not the most. It's not the most appealing to put out there, but it was. She was, she had fun, she enjoyed it, and that's all that mattered for her, was that she enjoyed working on the movie itself. And sometimes, it's like trauma films, like, they're not gonna be like Braveheart or any of those kind of movies. It's not gonna be Casablanca. It's just gonna be fun. And this is one of those that was just fun. They gave them a heavy budget. They didn't get that return in the box office, but you know what? It was fun. No,
well, I feel like the guys, like, lifelong fans, a cult following.
Yeah. You always get that, and that's always the plus. Is maybe the companies that decided to back this and financially put money lose, but in the end, after a long period of time, you're gonna see that it was all worth it. When people like Patty Mullen get to look back and see the fandom that's been created around the movie itself, and they're able to know that they've developed a following for the movie, it shows that it was appreciated. Regardless of where you would categorize the movie, like if you want to call it a B film or whatever you want to call it, it's still appreciated, and it has its fans and its following and all that. So it's always great, when you get those kind of movies. And
Yeah, created two new fans, you know.
yeah, no, absolutely.
It's the first time, you know.
Absolutely became instant fans of this one and immediately want to see more of Frank Henenlotter's work.
And she did one other movie she mentioned in the interview.
Yeah, and she's kept it small in a lot of things. At least at that point in 2006, she said she was trying to work on more stuff, but she did a movie called Strange Toys.
I think that one and this one at the time.
And Doom Asylum was the other one she mentioned.
Doom Asylum, yeah.
Let's see, and yeah, it looks like she's working on Strange Toys now. That's something new. Yeah, so that's pretty much what she's done. She said around 2006. She said, I do commercials here and there, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So she probably one of those actresses that ended up just getting like a regular job, and every now and then just does, side gigs here and there, or whatever. And I have a friend who lives that life too, and right now is on the set of a show with Kevin Bacon. But that's what he does. He has like regular work, and then every now and then it's just like, I'm gonna take some time off and work on a show. Nice. And yeah, so. It was just fun, man. It was just fun. I wish she would do more. I wish we would get a Frankenhooker too, but probably not going to get that.
Not exactly.
Yeah, maybe at some point there'll be a director that's a super fan and was inspired by Frankenhooker in some kind of way, and then maybe he'll push to like get it done or make it or whatever. But yeah, at the moment it doesn't look like we're going to get that at all. And Frank Henenlotter, how old is he?
Like 70 or something, I think.
He was born in 1950.
Yeah.
Yeah.
70-ish.
72?
72, yeah, something like that. So, it's like nearing to our end of the review.
Yep.
So, Randall. Being in Jeffrey.
I thought you were going to ask me which hooker are you.
I'll be the China. She was beautiful.
Oh shit. Because his birthday's in August, he's 71. So in August he turns 72.
So Randall.
Yes.
Out of all the body parts.
Oh.
Which one's your favorite? I'm a woman, of course.
Oh. Well, that's an interesting one.
Well, yeah, you have your legs, your thighs is. Your hands, your fingers, your breasts.
I think I'm very much like the thigh kind of man. Like I like thick thighs, and
you cannot lie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of like the superficial, overly large, like excessively large, like ass. Like those that don't look like they fit the body type shit. I hate that kind of shit.
Like the long asses?
No. The ones that are the ones like the ones that get the implant, but it's like
like they look ants.
It's like that, ants. But then it's like all of a sudden it's just like
God damn.
Don't, and then straight down. It's like that doesn't look natural.
Just can't fit.
I like natural looking. Even if you get work done, like I like when it looks natural.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the moment it's gonna happen, but
yeah.
Okay, thighs.
I mean, it's one of the things, and I've told friends this before because I've had friends who have had work done. I said, like, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not against getting anything cosmetic done. Like it's some get it done for different reasons. Like some it's because they get addicted to the thing. Others is because they've had life experiences that have changed their body and they want to kind of rejuvenate a bit. So I get it. I'm not against it. I'm all good for it. Just I always tell people like, yeah, but there's some that do a little bit overboard, and that's when it's like, okay, that's ridiculous. Like when you see like 72 double, triple, quadruple D boobs, and you're just like, those look like blimps. And I don't have a problem with big breasts, but those look like if I just slightly pinch, I'm going to feel the largest gust of wind that will just send me flying. So it's like those things. Like, I don't know. I mean, again, I get it, and I'm fully supportive of anybody want to do what they want to do with their body. But, yeah, sometimes it's one of those things where it's just like, don't know about that one.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I would say mostly, I guess, thighs.
Thigh
man. I'm not particularly picky when it comes to like boobs and ass type of thing.
Any size would do.
I mean, I've experienced sizes, so I feel like I'm sharing a lot more than I want to share right now. But yeah.
Welcome to Ram's body part reviews. In the second half.
This one might not go over well.
Hello, ladies.
This one might.
Are you feeling kinky? Well, come on here. Well,
oh god, this really went to the whole different direction there with that question.
One of my body
I feel like I'm giving a dating profile.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie. My favorite body part in a woman is their feet. I've had 3 foot jobs before. Yeah, well, great. Especially when they put the toe and the index finger around your... Just like,
oh, God.
So, yes, the feet, yeah.
Feet?
Feet are like a underdog favorite, I guess you could say, if that's what you can categorize it.
Yeah.
But I'm mainly a boob guy, as you know it.
Yeah.
Big old pancake areolas.
Yeah, and you're very specific on the areolas.
I always mention it.
Yep. Every time they're on the screen, they're like,
areolas. And it's weird, when I tell women this, they're like, oh, you're weird, Mac. It's like, what? It's like, am I weird for liking it? Like, what about the ones who have it on them? They're weird. Well, the woman attached to them, they're weird. But yeah, small titties, big titties. Hey, send me pictures.
Dust. Or Dust Till Dawn. It's like we have.
Oh yeah.
we have big boozy, black boozy, heady boozy.
Whatever is. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fucking Cheech Marine. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Our normal question is like, oh,
yeah,
who in the movie would you be?
But there was pretty much just 3 characters, so I really wouldn't hit on this one. Well, let's do this. Put yourself in Jeffrey's position. If you had the smarts to...
Damn, fucked up.
No, I mean, I don't have the smarts that he does in this movie either. Like, I'm saying to the level of him, of being an engineer that was able to create a method for creation of life, to bringing somebody back to life.
Okay.
Would you do it given the situation, or would you just be like, all right, moving on?
Well, in his case, like, it was his fiance, definitely. But it was somebody else. It would take longer. Would have doubted myself, or because he did doubt himself in the movie.
He did
during before the explosion shit.
Yeah, well, that was one of the reasons he did drill himself too.
Yeah, exactly.
Was because he had doubts.
Why not? I mean, I'd probably, as fucking I guess the word egotistical, or whatever the fuck it is, I'll probably see myself as a god at the moment that could create life.
Yeah.
Don't care what anybody says, Well,
it was like the line that they removed from the original Frankenstein movie was that one of the lines in the movie was him saying, like, comparing himself to God.
No way.
And then Universal was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, it would have caused hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like you said in the movie, Jeffrey, you could tell his hatred towards college or universities because his mom told him to go back to school, was it?
Yeah.
And he's like, I hate them.
Yeah.
Somebody like with his intelligence who would you listen to, you know, or you know, who would you study off? I'm sure there's somebody out there, but
yeah,
you know, just like Herbert West, he didn't want to listen to anybody. You know, say your methods are wrong,
and he would fight teachers too because of his beliefs and his theology was different.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would fucking create life. What about you, man? Create life with big areolas. Yes. What about you, sir? You and your thick thighs.
Oh shit. I mean, if she had the thick thighs, then I guess I would have to.
Well, you have to search for the thick thighs.
No,
or she did have thick thighs in the beginning.
She did. Yeah, I think if I'm in his position, and I have the capabilities and the ability to like do this,
the resources too.
Yeah, he had the resources because he worked for the electric company. He's apparently been skimming parts off little by little.
Nobody's noticed.
Yeah, nobody noticed that much was missing. Thousands, yeah. I want to know where he got the turbine from, though. Like, how'd you get that one even home? How'd you get that one? Like, he did not fit that in his car, so that's probably the most interesting part.
Yeah, because even the 4 or 5 body bags,
yeah,
were fucking like overexposing from his trunk. So imagine that.
Yeah. There's no way he brought that turbine home in that. So I'm curious for that, but yeah, I think given the situation and given the level of intelligence that he had in this movie to go that route, even though he didn't speak it except in moments. Because when he talked normal, you wouldn't assume that this guy knows anything to that level.
Yeah, just a weirdo. Right?
Yeah, he just came off as this like a really weird, strange guy that just was mumbling shit. But then when you would hear the details, you're like, oh, okay, so he actually knows shit, type of thing. So, I mean, I guess, yeah. I think in given the same position, I think I would literally do the same exact thing. Probably fail, but attempt. Attempt. Now, my curiosity would be is how comfortable would the family of Elizabeth be, knowing that he kept, the fucking head.
Dude, that shit scared me.
That he kept the head in like a fucking
That's true.
refrigerator.
Who knows if the fucking family knew about it?
Nah, yeah, we didn't get any of that. Who knows if his own mom knew?
They dig a
because he lives with his mom.
Yeah, they probably
does she not enter that garage ever?
Right? They probably buried a fake body or something. Yeah, replaced it. I don't know, with pillows. So.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what they did? But yeah, it was
because she did in the mother when she came in. It's like, oh, Jeffrey, you need to stop staring at it.
But I think
it was the picture, or was it?
Yeah, I think it was the picture because in that room he didn't have, and the only thing of her he had was the pictures, and he had the brain, and the fish tank.
Probably was the brain. Yeah. A brain, a fish tank with live fish.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I like what you said. You'll probably fail. You probably have like little weird creatures running around. Like
yeah. Which watch the movie if you want weird creatures, because that might happen. Especially one. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Especially one specific one called Titty Twister.
Yeah, Gabe called it Titty Twister, which is beautiful.
You have to experience Titty Twister. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I would do it. Not get as far as Jeffrey did, but probably try.
Well, his was basically like a one shot, of course, of the movie length and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I wonder, in his world, in that world, how many times he's failed, what his outcomes were. Like in Alien 3, I think it was called Resurrection, where fucking Ripley's body was deformed and the fucking tubes, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Trying to replicate, a Ripley. But yeah, this dude's the Franken rating.
Yeah. Franken rating.
Bro, this is so hard because the only thing I feel that's preventing me from giving it a 10 out of 10 is just the length, and I feel like we're left like, I don't know, short-handed, man.
Yeah, the ending could have been a little bit more extended.
I'm not complaining about how it ended.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I think the concept of the ending was great, but I think they could have done just a little bit more in that ending. But maybe it was like, again, he ate all the budget on pyrotechnics, so he was limited. He was limited on what he would be able to do, and maybe that's why they went the route they went.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I think I would give it a 9, man.
A 9?
Just for that. Probably too harsh on it, but
No. I mean, I'm literally in the same place. I was gonna give it a 9 also. So we're both in the same place.
mentally.
Yeah, that too. So yeah,
So 9.
9 out of 10, I think, for me and Mac. It's just a fun movie, man. Like, again, it's one of those like Rectima, you know. Even though Rectima was like super low budget and all that, but it's just
God, that movie,
stupid fun. You know, you don't expect to take any of this serious. You're expected to just have fun with the movie, and Patty Mullen completely takes it all when she becomes the Frankenhooker, and Jeffrey is just the guy James.
Yeah, Lawrence.
Yeah, he was just on point with how he played a little bit of that, you know, lost and confused and amoral and all that stuff that he went through. He did it on point and gave. I think that's probably what sold me the most, is that it gave me so much of a Herbert West vibe that it's what I enjoyed the most out of that character, because I really love Herbert West. Like, that character for me, Jeffrey Combs just created something that can never be replicated in Herbert West with the way how he does that character.
Yeah, even though they made a 4th Reanimator, but I haven't looked into it, but I know it's not him.
Yeah.
So I think it was just fan made or something.
Yeah, it makes it that, right? And it makes it where you just don't want to see it if it's not Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, we even laughed and like joked about like what if
Jeffrey Combs and
James
and
work together and shit.
Yeah, like, Jeffrey Combs and Jeffrey Franken.
Yeah, we're
or not Jeffrey Combs, Herbert West and Jeffrey Franken work together.
Like, they found each other. What would they do? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of the same concept, right? Like, you know, in
Reanimator,
it's the same kind of concept. It's bringing life back, right? And in part 2 of Reanimator, it is the same concept as Frankenhooker, basically, which is we're bringing back
the girlfriend. Yeah,
the girlfriend. So there is some kind of similarity to that, but obviously done vastly different, using Mary Shelley's Frankenstein's model of the whole electricity being the giver of life, you know, to bring some kind of life and electricity into the body. So yeah, but 9 out of 10 for both of us. I think it's a must watch for anybody who can watch a movie and not take it serious and just enjoy it for what it is, which is just fun. Stupid fun, but fun. And yeah, I think it's worth it. I think it's absolutely worth it. You can watch it on Amazon. It's on Sling. You can rent it on YouTube, rent it on Vudu. So it's out there for people to watch. And I would suggest you give it a shot. I would honestly suggest you give it a shot.
No, exactly. And yeah, again, credit to Patty Mullen. I just realized like how much of a performance you have to do, repeat the same lines over and over, just do facial expressions. You know, all I can think about is what Jim Carrey with facial expressions. So,
and walking down active streets in New York.
Yeah, with actual
people.
And actual hookers.
Yeah.
There are some scenes with actual hookers and stuff.
Yeah.
So she just, you know, blew us away. And again, you know, besides our review, you got Joe Bob Briggs, said it was best of the 90s. You got Bill Murray, which is a fanatic of this film.
Yeah.
He even, when it released, he went and endorsed it, I believe so. Or just, you know,
I don't know why, though, but I think if you ever tell me, like, what's a movie Bill Murray likes, immediately I would think Frankenhooker.
You would have gone with it?
I think so. He just seems like that kind of unusual individual.
I don't know.
Like, he's weird. Like, Bill Murray's weird, man.
Yeah,
like, I love the dude.
Even the front cover says here, if you only see one movie this year, it should be Frankenhooker, Bill Murray. It says it on the cover.
Yeah.
So yeah, he really loved this film, and you know, you will too.
We're gonna get Bill Murray hate
because we're all God's children. So yeah, definitely a movie to
pick up and watch. Like, if you don't want to buy it, just stream it. It's out there for you to watch it.
Like you said, also too, if you're trying to find it, message us. We could show you and guide you to the right horror pages that sell these movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't trust eBay and stuff like that, we have people that we know in the community that will, share along, that might be able to help you out in finding something. So, there's people who we know that are always out there searching.
Yeah, trusted sellers. Again, credit to Sales of the Dead. We'll tag his page on on this post.
Yep.
Again, thank you. You probably hear my stuff. But yeah.
This microphone is sensitive, so it might. But yeah, with that, we are gonna end this. We'll be back soon. We have a few more films that Mac picked up that we definitely are interested in watching. Some more Hammer stuff, some more random horror stuff that we just didn't know what the fuck it was.
Some Full Moon movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and we're filling up the library with a lot more things that we can bring. So we want to give you guys more. And
I have an idea for our next giveaway.
Oh shit!
And Will, the Book Abyss.
You'll be getting your giveaway soon.
Your giveaway, just give us some time.
Yeah, no,
some delay in our personal lives. But you'll get it. But yeah, our next giveaway, I have an idea on when to do it, but we don't know what. Well, I don't know, so we don't know what the giveaway will be. So yeah.
Okay.
Gracias.
I guess I'll find out after. Because I have no idea.
Let me tell you right now. You turn this shit off now. Okay. But yeah, this has been another Ram Film Reviews.
Yeah.
So, if you got money,
pay up.
Love you.